It's so terrific to see each and every one of you, to look at your faces. This is wonderful. I've got two questions for you. The first question is, who likes animals? Okay, all right, that'll work. That's good. And then the second question is, who likes pizza? Okay, all right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about both of those here in just a minute. And so I'm going to read to you a book called Night Owl. Night Owl. Give you a chance to take a look at that cover. It's really cool. It's a really cool, and you can come a little closer if you'd like to, because I'm going to describe some of the pictures to you. And if you want to see some of the pictures, right? If you'd like to see some of the pictures, I'll describe them for you. So here is the front cover of a book called Night Owl. And there is an owl, and the owl is dressed as a knight. You guys did great. And guess what? It's not daytime, it's nighttime. All right, here we go. All right, Night Owl by Christopher Dennis. And so before I even go any further, there's a picture right here in the very beginning of what looks to be Night Owl reading a book. And so while we're reading this book about nights, you can think of Night Owl reading a very similar book to the one that we're reading right now. And so let's dig in. All right, Night Owl. Since the day he hatched, Owl had one wish. And so now here's a picture of Owl, right? When Owl's really, really little, and there's Owl's mommy. And over here reading a newspaper, who do you think that is? Yeah, that's Owl's daddy right there. So the mom and the dad, and then again, since he was hatched, he had one wish. And Owl, there he is. He looks like he has a soup spoon in his hand, and he has a pot on his head. And I think he's trying to dress up, is what it looks like to me. I'll give you a chance to take a look at that. You can see Night Owl. I think you're getting there. You're already there, quite frankly. A little Night Owl. There he is. He's already wishing. And he's wishing to be a knight. And so there's a little picture of Night Owl. And there's Night Owl watching the knights as they ride by on their horses. And remember, this is Night Owl. And Night Owl had one wish. And there he is during the day. He gets a chance to see some of the people that he wants to be. And so I'll turn the page. Every morning before he drifted off to sleep, he imagined himself as a real knight. He would be brave. He would be clever. And he would be friends to many, many people. It was just a dream, though, until one day. And so here you get a chance to see Night Owl in the bed with his dream above him. And you can see Night Owl with the knights around him. And he's building little night contraptions to try to catch whatever it is that he wanted to catch. I'll get to that a little bit later. But he's laying in the bed thinking about becoming a knight. All right, let's turn to the page. Until one day, knights began disappearing from the castle. So Owl applied to night school, and to everyone's surprise, he was accepted. So one more time, knights began disappearing from the castle. So that's on this side over here. And if you can't see, there are signs on the wall of the castle, knights for hire, because the knights were disappearing. So we needed more knights. And of course, that's why Night Owl here applied for night school. So you can see him sitting at a desk with a pen and a light and a piece of paper, and he's filling out probably an application. And then to everyone's surprise here, he was actually accepted. So his mom and dad are really proud of him right now because he applied for something and he was accepted for it. Now, Al was an excellent student. Now I'm going to show you this piece right here. Here's Al being an excellent student. So there's Al, and these are other knights that are very large, and they're standing around him because owls aren't that large. They're not as big as knights. They're much larger than little bitty birds, but you can see where Al's a little bit smaller than the knights that are around him. But he was a very good student, and he was in night school with all of the other knights. Now, he did have a tough time with a sword. Even the smallest shield was a problem, and he had a habit of nodding off during the day. Now, with the shield, with the sword and the shield, why do you think he was having a tough time? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know you all were going to say that. Your hands went up so fast. You're right. The owl is so small, and the shield and the sword are so large that he had a little trouble with that. And then he had another problem. Now, this is going to be an interesting one, that he had a habit of nodding off during the day. Now, why do you think the owl would nod off during the day? Yes, ma'am. That's right. That's right. See, the owl enjoyed the night. The owl enjoys the night, right? The night with a N instead of the night with a K. And they're up all night. And that means they need to sleep during the day. Do you know how many hours an owl sleeps during the day? 8 hours, 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours. All right. So night school was hard, but Al worked at it and he worked at it. And he graduated. And when he graduated, at night too. So there is a picture of Al. He has his uniform now. You can see him with his uniform. The other night, their shield and their helmet. And there he is. That's all the other knights that are out. All right, let's keep going. All right. So Al, he wasn't assigned to day watch. Al was assigned to night watch. Isn't that pretty funny? Night watch. And he was very good at his job. And here's a picture of Al at night. Remember, Al. He looked at big eyes. He could see at night. So it was great. It was a win-win for the night. What do they call it? Night. There. All the other nights are probably doing something else. This owl, this night is awake, keeping guard, keeping air. That's what it is. You ready for the next page? All right, let's go to the next page. The next page, the other nights usually fell asleep during the long night watch, but Al didn't mind. All alone on the castle wall, he finally felt like a real knight until late one evening. It was dark outside, and it's quiet. Quiet until we go. Al heard a strange sound. Whoosh. It sounded like a huge bird flapping its wings. Ooh, Al cried or called out. Is that what Al say? Ooh, yeah, you do. There's Al. Ooh. Yeah, but remember, we all like pizza. He heard the sound again. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Whoo, whoo, he called. Next picture. Very right. Whoosh. Who. That's right. So Al is looking one direction, and what's behind Al? Yes, yes, yes. Don't say anything. I'm going to read it to you. Here we go. Who? Me? Said in a deep voice. Who? Asked the owl. So now, looking at each other, and they face to face, but they're going to have a great time. I'm a hungry dragon, said the dragon. Al was very afraid, but because he was now a real knight, and knights are brave, he puffed out his feathers and said, I'm an owl, and I'm the knight of the night watch. There it is. Look at Al standing right in front of the rock. I think the dragon, well, you don't look like a knight, said the dragon. You look like a bit. Al's feathers trembled. But because he was a real knight, and knights are very clever, he said, you don't want me. I'm too small for you. Hardly even. So, keep going. A mouthful is enough, snarled the dragon. I'm all feathers and fluff, said Al. A great dragon like you needs something tastier and more filling. So there's the conversation happening between the dragon and the owl. How about pizza instead, said Al. Told you. Well, guess what? It turned out that the dragon loved pizza. They talked all night about how each of them had hatched from eggs and a dragon. They each hatched from eggs, how much they each liked the night with an egg, how flying was hard to explain to someone who had never done it before. Three things they have in common, and they really had a lot in common. So here's a picture of the two of them at the time, eating pizza, eating each other. Now, they had and of course, let's keep going. All right. The following week, not a single night disappeared. Or the week after that, they didn't want to take any more nights away. And every night, Al controlled the wall, keeping everyone safe. It was very dark and it was very quiet. But Al didn't mind because he was brave. And he was very, very clever too. And last but not least, and he had many, many friends. At this point, all the other knights really loved and liked Al a lot. He was clever, he was brave, and he had fun. You're absolutely right. But you can see the knight, you can see the grown-up knight, you can see the owl, you can see the baby dragon, you can see the big dragon, and they're all playing together. They're all together. You did very well. Well, thank you so much for being the best students that I've ever read to today.